One time I'd got through preaching way down in the mountains of Kentucky, where I was born. And as I stepped outside the door of the church, there was a man standing there, which was a trapper across the hills, a great big Judah bacca in his mouth, that when he'd met me the day before, and I was squirrel hunting, and he was sitting there on the log talking, and they were talking about a little baby had been healed the night before, which they said had the jerks palsy. And they didn't know I was in the woods. And this great big fellow with a hat on made out of limb bark. I guess there's not a person here ever seen a limb bark hat. Take hickory bark and scale it off and make a hat out of it. Weave it together. And then, sitting there on that log, they'd stop sawing, and the Winchester rifles on the trees, feuding. And when he was talking, he had a big chew of tobacco in his mouth. Then he spit and the leaves would fly up. He said, I saw that young'un stop shaking. And I heard him getting pretty rough talking. I thought I'd better make myself known. I didn't want to be a stranger going up through those bushes. And I said, good morning, gentlemen. That rough bunch of men who would kill you at the drop of your hat jumped to their feet, and this big fellow with that long neck and his Adam's apple sticking out, he looked at me, his eyes pushed out, he jerked off that hat and swallowed that chew tobacco and said, good morning, parson. Oh, if Christ is presented in the right way, the world will respect it if there's any respect in them. Certainly it is. If it's brought in the way of divine light. That night when they left the church, he had a lantern in his hand. He said, I'd give anything, parson, if I could only believe that God would forgive me of my sins. He said, I've killed 2 or 3 men, and I know that I'm a guilty sinner. But when I've seen them things happen in that little church, I'm aware that there is a true and living God. I said, He will forgive you. And He wants to forgive you. And the very hunger in your heart means that He's